All right, live stories. Last one. I'll try and stay within the 5 minutes. So first, check out the shirt. There's actually the shirts. There's a bunch of us here. If you want to catch our attention, talk to us about data. We have a lot of it. We want to do a lot with it. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how we aggregate that data and what we do with it. What we have is what we call civic data. Civic data, I don't know if you guys know what that means, is basically public data that is all about the places where we live, work, and play. So think about housing, think about commute time, think about health, air quality, employment, anything. So we have a lot of that, and I'm gonna show you exactly how we deal with it. So I'm Eric, CTO at LiveStories. I've been here with LiveStories for about 3 years now, and I'm super excited with what we've built and hopefully where we're gonna go forward. We work a lot with the public sector. What we found, talking to them, is that they use a lot of that public data themselves. They need to harvest it, clean it up, and do that over and over and over again to respond to requests that we, the citizens, make to them. So the result of this is a lot of cycles, a lot of time wasted, and at the end, the reports, the surveys, and the results they publish are not very visible. They're typically PDF documents that are buried on, King County Public Health. And it makes these guys' lives very difficult because they're there to make a difference and they can't. They do a lot of these, repetitive tasks. Comes LiveStories. So what we have is a library of that civic data that we harvest from Census, CDC, FBI, and on and on and on, and normalize it and put it into under one single roof, make it super easy to access such that you don't have to do the heavy lifting, you don't have to understand how census categorized ethnicities. We have done that for you and you can get access to it. Combine that with visualizations. We have a lot of ways for you to explore that data, discover what's there, and then build charts out of them. It's a lot of work to make it seamless and make it easy for you to discover, but that's what we're striving to do. In the end, what we let you do with it is build a web page, which is what we call the story. It's really a live web page where the data is going to be live, the charts are going to be live. You can add content, text, whatever, and then make sure that you actually get your message across. That if you have an important result you want to share with the public, you can actually do so. How does that work? Let's talk a little bit about technology here. The first two top circles are not really too creative. Backend, we use a lot of Node.js. We store all the information about the users, the teams, and the accounts into Postgres. We work with React in the front. We love it. It's sometimes a struggle. We do all these nice Redux and sagas. If you know a little bit about those, I'm interested. I'm looking to hire. And we do all our visualization with D3. D3 is super powerful, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're in for some trouble. Now, that's what people interact with. However, the secret sauce is behind all of this. The secret sauce is how we actually normalize the data from all these different sources. And if you ever looked at these sources, you'll realize that it's very, very different from one to the next. So what we've developed is our own data pipeline, like a lot of companies do. And of course, we created our own special secret sauce. The secret sauce is actually a domain-specific language that allows us to describe what transformation needs to happen in order to normalize the data based on what we find on that source website. The interesting piece is everything is written, again, in Node, in JavaScript. You wouldn't necessarily think about Node as the way to transform large amounts of data, but guess what? The streaming library from Node works really, really well. So that's what we did. The other thing we did is we decided to not rely on existing database technologies, and so we're using S3 as our backend to store everything. So yes, data is super difficult, but this is exactly why I'm here. And if you guys are looking for a challenge, come and join us. There's a bunch of us. Come talk to us. This is a lot of normalization. This is a lot of innovation. But in the end, it's very, very interesting. And this is why we all working on that topic. Now, not only is it difficult and challenging and interesting, but we're making a difference. We have a lot of public sector, public health departments that are using our solution, and they are making a difference, and that feels good. It's not just the challenge; it's actually the impact that we're making. That's it. So talk data to us. Yeah.
So homelessness is kind of a big issue. I don't know if anyone's heard of that in Seattle right now. Is there like a common language that your data can like translate everything into like a common English, so that way people can look at it and be like, okay, here's where we should invest in.
That's right.
Like case study of homelessness.
Right. So I don't know that we can translate it to English just yet. We do translate it to, we normalize into a model where we basically harvest the data, normalize it in the sense of, if we talk about a given topic, if it's coming from different sources, the semantics layer on top of that data will be the same. So we know if we're talking about gender coming from CDC, we're going to represent it the same way if it's gender from census. So I don't know that it's got a direct impact in here, but it's, we definitely have data about homelessness. We have, a lot of that data that we've captured. We make it available to you. I'm hoping that we get to a point, the company is about 45 employees as it is. As we harvest more and more data, I'm hoping AI and machine learning will start making a little bit of a difference on top of that data, and that's maybe when we can harvest some interesting things. Yes?
So not to piggyback off of that, so not so much of the intention of the data, but what are some of the challenges that you've had getting data from city to city? Because I'm assuming that there are different challenges getting data from Chicago than there are getting data from Seattle.
Yeah, it's basically all over the place in terms of what we find. We're even working currently with sources outside of the country, and we're dealing with PDF documents, where it's basically scanned tables, right, that we have to deal with. So it's a little bit of anything and everything. Challenges is not necessarily the structure, whether it's a CSV, an Excel, or PDF. It's more about the semantics. I think that's really where the interesting part is.
And then does your company have any type of proactive approach to trying to uniform it?
Yes. I mean, uniform it back to them, yes. I would like it if the CDC was using our representation. We're not quite there yet. We're not maybe big enough. But what we are doing is normalizing it into one single representation, yes.
I was speaking about input, normalizing the input. So essentially just offering a form of questions or however you will to make sure that you're getting the same data from city to city.
Yes, so we're not there yet, for sure, but if we talk some more, maybe offline, about the way we've structured our pipeline, the first step in that pipeline is that first step of normalizing, and the closer the sources would be to this midterm in the pipeline representation we're using, the best it would be. So I guess that's how we would talk about it. Yes?
So I know it's your special sauce, but if I wanted to say I had some data and I wanted to be able to normalize it to work with your service, is there some kind of public version of this domain-specific language to do your transformations to get it to be of the correct format so that I can work with it? Is that a thing that I could do, or is that?
So that's the thing we're talking about. We're talking about open sourcing some bits and pieces of that. It's not there yet. It's our secret sauce, so we have to pay attention to this. What I would say, though, is that we would definitely want to work with you the same way we're working with a lot of these public sector departments, and we're helping them get this data into our format. We would work with you and try and make that work. Longer term, I'm hopeful that we'll have some of that open sourced. Yes.
One more question.
Yes.
You showed us front-end where you can see the data. Do you guys have an API too that other apps can use?
Absolutely. We have an API that we're using in the back that's basically serving the data behind the scenes to our UI. It's not necessarily built for a pure machine-to-machine consumption, but definitely it is in the work. Yes. Not yet. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.